been so long that I haven't seen this happen. So I gotta ask, Lunox versus Claude in that gold lane, who comes out on top?
Level 4 Lunox.
Level 4 Lunox, I feel. But again, it's just burst coming in, right? So it's not like Lunox is completely helpless, but
And she has the potential to stray away from the Blazing Duet if it comes down to that 1v1 situation.
with the Brilliance Order as well, yeah, there's a more outplay potential for sure, but we just have to get back into it, Miracle.
Let's get it, ladies and gentlemen. Into the land of Dawn we go for the unique picks over from Rebellion and as well as Aura Fire. Again, it's going to be so interesting to see. I want to take a look at their emblems here, because is Fearless on the Demon Slayer to clear faster, get that power spike faster, or is he going to go for the Killing Spree? The normal emblem as, yeah, Killing Spree is going to be the choice for him. For both, actually. For High too. All right. All right. Welcome to Season 8 of MPLID. It's literally the same.
I love it.
I love it.
I love it. It makes me sad though, because Yusen-Shin usually reminds me of Sans. But now on screen, you can see that both teams are trying to find their own ground. Rebellion Zion once again being that aggressive force, as well as Lucen's trying to pressure High here.
In the early game though, Rebellion Zen has a lot more damage to play around with, but Wijinarko gets stuck alone there, and the Litho will be taken by Aura Fire, but Rebellion, they try to go get something more! Sway low!
Sway low, just flickering in, securing first blood, presented to you by the Samsung Galaxy A series. Rebellion Zion leading in the early stage once again.
It's insane how advanced their improvement has come for the side of Rebellion Zion. Suelo, we usually see him on those high ground heroes like the Sicilian, like the Eve, but even on the Faramis, he can play that aggressive mage as well. So he's just so flexible, and you can see it already starting to pay off here in the first almost second minute of the game.
And actually, I do want to add on this. Lunox actually wins against the Claude from the early stage of the game. I don't know why, I thought it was Beatrix, but yeah, it's Claude in that gold lane. So Lunox actually, a mage always counters the marksman, especially the marksman like Claude, who has so much trouble in those situations because his range is just so small. Highs with better sustain, better poke, more range, will be able to just completely poke Chai down. So Aura need to constantly be looking at that top side as Rebellion use this pressure in the top side to go for the first turtle of the game. Fluffy jumping in with the Falling Star Moon, Suelo popping the Cult Altar, first neutral objective secured by Fearless. Turtle Slain presented to you by the Samsung Galaxy A series as Wijinarko, whoa, very aggressive, forced to back up.
Man, look at the damage Fluffy's receiving on the Esmeralda, even from Suelo. It's interesting. Is a Faramis base damage that high?
I think the more people are around, the more damage the spells do as well. So these early game fights where everyone's clumped up like this, it's really beneficial for Suelo. And of course, talking about Fluffy and taking damage, name a more iconic duo. He just goes in, and so far, he has not been punished for it just yet. That is the power of that Esmeralda. And for Aura Fire, talking about how they're able to maneuver around the Cult Altar, they have 3 sprints, right? So, you know, they'll be able to outrun or chase as much as possible, especially when the going gets really important in that late game.
But remember, Arashi, on the note about Fluffy and Esmeralda, but that has to wait as Godiva is going to be the center of attention there. The top side and even getting picked off. But back to my point. Remember that Highs on the Lunox is going to be able to counter the Esmeralda later on in the game. So Fluffy always being able to absorb that damage, it won't happen in this game.
Oh, it's a dive here. Giant getting brought back by the Shadow Stampede, but Rebellion, they just use this to create space for Highs again, playing for that winning lane, creating so much space, and sending the Yusen-Shin over to collect the turret gold. It's the hyper carry meta! it's kind of back here as Fearless is able to take a little bit of damage onto the turret gold. They're looking for a fight though. High gonna get caught. Whoa, what was he doing there?
Brilliance
it's
Order.
It's a Cult Altar as well as High pops into Brilliance Order, Brilliance of the Order there. And yeah, the Aura just not able to find any picks. Godiva goes in for the I'm Offended, but Rebellion way too slick with it, able to get out.
It's insane because if they're hitching their bets onto Facehugger with the real-world manipulation like we saw earlier, Rebellion Zion, they have 2 ways to maneuver around it. They have the Guiding Wind from Wijinarko, and they also have the Cult Altar from Suelo to prevent anything from happening from that ultimate. So really insane timing that needs to be done by Aura Fire this time around, as once again, Rebellion Zion already the eyes on the prize in that turtle.
They've been playing it so well in the laning phase because they are able to shut down Kaid and get Highs as well as Fearless a bit more ahead because they did bring in Fearless to collect their turret gold and that will set him up to make him a lot more with a lot more damage and a lot more security for those retributions against High.
That's going to be another free turtle. Picked up by Rebellion Zion, presented to you by the Samsung Galaxy AC users. Godiva jumps in with I'm offended. Fujinarko still able to flicker out. Suelo bringing 3 members back, but Facehugger pops in. The real world inflation instantly cancelled out. Suelo doesn't have to call Alter just yet. Flickers out to safety. Highs comes in with a Chaos Order, taking Godiva low, taking Godiva down in the mid lane, leaving the gold lane over for Fearless to take, and even in the bottom side, Rebellion winning in all 3 lanes as the top side is going to get ganked. Oh my god, again, Rebellion. Wow!
I'm so impressed. I'm so impressed. There was a moment that Aura Fire could have taken that top tower turret, but you can see the way that Fearless instantly rotated there and prevented that from ever happening, Arashi.
Clock of Destiny already completed for Highs on that Lunox, so he'll be attempting to do a lot of scaled up damage in the late game. For Kaito, he does have the DHS. He's not completely behind the curve, but it's a solid about 400 gold lead for the side of Highs. So Kite will have to actually struggle a bit more and try and find scraps to get to the power spike before Aura can try and attempt a big comeback team fight.
How many minutes has it been in the game?
Well, it has been 5 minutes and 40 seconds.
5 minutes, 40 seconds, 3,000 gold lead, and not one of them have been taken down yet.
Yeah, it's pretty insane. The fact that Rebellion Zion, using this somewhat late game composition, is able to dictate that early stage. But again, it all comes back to setup, right? If you take a look at the game, how they're actually able to play around this, the map in general, is by getting mid-pressure. This is what we saw as well, Arashi. Fun fact, me and Arashi, we watched the OniPH Blacklist game yesterday, and this is some kind of similar.
It's 2-0?
Yeah.
Ooh.
But this is kind of similar what Rebellion are trying to do. They pick up the Matilda and the Faramis. Faramis alone clears waves faster than the Yi. If you have the Matilda, even faster there, right? So they use that mid-pressure that they have to constantly move into the jungle, move into the gold lane, move into the, they just ignore the XP lane, right? So gold and mid is the priority, and even the jungle. With that, they create so much space, forcing Fluffy to always come through to help, because that's how Aura plays. When they go for fights, Fluffy's always there to help, even sometimes leaving his lane. And Rebellion, knowing that,
Punishing.
they punish. They know that Fluffy will always come. They will not go for full team fights. They only go for the little like engage, get one pick, back off with the call alter. And meanwhile, Jiren just hits the turret down below. And they keep doing this. Aura Fire gets frustrated. The more frustrated they become, more mistakes that they make around that jungle area that they are able to punish. And again, High getting caught a few times was all in that build-up.
Wow, that actually makes sense. That's exactly what we're seeing, and you can see it actually pay off already. Once again, Rebellion Zion going very aggressive with the 3 men. Like you mentioned, the hyper thing.
Right. Oof!
Almost.
A very, very close 1v1 attempt from Kite. But now in the bottom side here, Rebellion, they're just unrelentless with this aggressive playstyle. The towers even are not really safe when Rebellion Zion has all the control in the mid lane and they're able to just move around as a gank squad. As you say, Mirko, this seems to be the same strat as the hyper carry strat. Funnel all the resources to one person and then hang out with him, move around together and start just picking people off.
And the beautiful thing is, with this hyper meta that they are trying to portray into this game, both of their roamers, as in the Faramis as well as the Matilda, they have such high mobility.
Yes.
So they will have the pressure and they will have the upper hand when it comes down to those rotations.
You're right.
Oh my god, it's brilliant.
Again, it really just enables that rotation to come through, right? Enables everyone to rotate. As you can see here, Kabuki, even when he's not playing, he's getting fed. Right?
He's getting fed, literally. Good one, Mirko. But the rest of the guys seem very relaxed right here. They have full confidence. And here on the screen is the man Godiva himself. He's playing that Ruby, right? So he can still make aggressive plays happen. But we have seen that Godiva on the Ruby, his plays aren't nearly as dynamic just because the kit is a lot more static.
Yeah, he kind of struggles on these less playmaking heroes, right? On the Godiva, I almost call it Godiva because again, just both of those, it's an iconic duo.
Yeah,
but
like
again,
Chaco and Kufra.
you're right, yeah. But you know, it doesn't feel like he is able to make the most out of the Ruby here because it's not as flashy, it's not as crazy as the Kadita. But here we do have a comment from Justin_Frey. He got the confidence after using the Axe Body Spray. Go Rebellion, show them what the Bulls can do.
Blue Bulls supremacy here for this right match, and it's so crazy. It's just so crazy how fast they develop. And on that note, Mirko, saying that that Godiva isn't able to relay the same amount of impact because he's not on the Kadita is also because that other heroes, they don't really have as much of an escape mechanism that can save him when he goes and does those really aggressive plays. And usually at the end, without the Kadita, he just gets picked off. And that's going to be another factor less for Rebellion Zion to worry about.
Rebellion is just, again, the planning is just so good in the drafting phase. And you gotta give credit, man. We said that Coach Tezed, even one of the members from Aura was also saying that, try and outdraft our coach. So they seem to have a lot of confidence in their flexibility and in their surprise cheese strats. And so far it's been working out. But Rebellion Zion, they just seem to be 200, even 400 IQ. Not just 100 to turn.
Oh.
What do you mean?
100 is pretty average.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that.
We learned
So-
that
Everyone
at
knows
MSC.
that.
Yeah.
Right,
Come
so
on.
Rebellion,
Everyone knows that.
not 100 IQ at all. It's 200, 400. They just seem to be having all these solutions to the problems that Aura can possibly face before Aura even throws them at Rebellion.
Let's see though, again, right? Rebellion, even though in this game it has looked solid, the mistakes that they've made in the past can still come through. The classic Rebellion getting that early stage, absolutely dominating, but losing one fight, making one mistake that all ends up with the enemy team getting the chance to come back in the game. If they play at the level that they're playing right now, constantly into that late stage, it's scary. It's scary. If they are able to keep this form, it's going to be very scary because, again, remember, they're not up against any team. They're up against a second place team in MPLID currently,
Not
or a
for
Fire.
longer, I think.
Yeah, if
Oh.
Rebellion wins this game and Ethos or Onyx win another,
Yeah,
Aura will be taken out of that second place.
for sure, for sure. That's exactly what I mentioned before this game. There is a huge possibility that Aura Fire might fall down in the standings. But coming back to the composition of Rebellion, I just feel like it's so brilliant. Because they have the upper hand with what you guys mentioned before, with the way that they're able to rotate and the high mobility that the Matilda as well as the Feramis has. And in addition to that, they also have that extra map visibility that the Yustin Shin can also bring to the table. So face value here. If Rebellion Zion loses control over the map, then they must have made a huge blunder in perhaps a team fight.
Right, and considering that Aura can't catch them by surprise with that intel gameplay, that's why we see a lot of picks being so valued. But now, Mountain Shocker is popped to try and attempt for Rebellion to just chase the members of Aura Fire back into their towers.
Godiva's very, very low, trying to go in with a BMI. Fearless, oh my goodness, dashing in, dealing the damage onto High, taking him low. Suelo looks for a kill onto him. Turtle Buff is there. What? Wait, Godiva got caught. Suelo able to, what?
Guys.
He got deleted. What happened there? He actually went for the kill. High was so low, but High was able to actually outplay there.
There was a certain amount of time that he bought Suelo for the other members from the side of Rebellion Zion to pick up those objectives as well as the buff from the side of Aura Fire. So even though he was taken down, there was a trade there, and Rebellion Zion still able to have that map pressure.
High just scouting around with the entropy there. He's spotting out Dairon, who has the ability to just do a lot of damage here. And they jump onto Highs, but the Brilliance Order will allow him to back away. But no, he gets caught.
Not for long. Wait, oh my god, the guiding win. Beautiful position by Ouijanarco to bring that gold laner out of harm's way. And again, Rebellion, like I mentioned, if they are able to keep this form, it's going to be very scary, as that's going to be Suelo jumping and bringing Fluffy back in. Again, Aura Fire, what are your win conditions here?
They have to make sure they actually get the combo and get the engage properly if they want to get a fight, because if you leave them up with a small slip of HP, they can get out with the Cult Altar with the guiding win, and now Fluffy gets engaged on.
Fearless dealing so much damage, hitting from the back lines as High pops the entropy as well. Both teams disengaging, but Rebellion find the better pick, and Giant gets bursted down to a quarter of his HP now as Rebellion look towards the Lord. This is amazing, amazing plays by Rebellion. Again, rotating and converting on every single kill onto objectives, forcing these fights only when it is necessary.
The timing's perfect now. Very, very on point with their timings at the moment. And I gotta say though, that Wijanarko is just so, what do you call it?
Underrated?
Underrated. I mean, on the Ruby, even in that previous game, he was making a lot of moments for the side of Rebellion Zion to capitalize on. And even in this game, he's able to do so much as well, using the guiding wind on point. But here we go, Fluffy.
Taking the damage. Yeah.
There you go.
I mean, I guess classic Fluffy because he has taken the most damage in MPLID Season 10, but that was way too much damage. This is what you said in the early stage, Eterna. Lunox counters the Esmeralda, so the more they can do this, the harder it becomes, the tougher it becomes for Esmeralda as a frontliner.
Well, any frontliner will struggle against that Lunox. That's why that pick is so good. It is essentially DPS, but also burst. So it's a lot more dynamic, and now with the waves pushing in, it won't crash at like exactly the same time, but Rebellion Zion, look at the discipline and how they manage the waves out. The members of Aura Fire, they're spread out across 3 different waves, and even then, Sway Low is unrelentingly pressuring them back into the base.
Look at that Mountain Shocker, man. The HP now popped in high, trying to clear out the way.
Whoa!
No, Wijanarko gets baited in all the way under the base turret. Now Wijanarko still able to dash away. Cold Ultra placed. Brings the order as well. Aura Fire looked for the engage, could not go for more. They need to recall. No ultimates here. Only High and Fluffy. 2 versus 2 ultimates. Rebellion still trying to look for the siege, but they don't need to do this. They do not need to do this. 10 minutes in, they can just back off. That's exactly what they do. 7.4 thousand gold lead as we are going to take a look at the item check for the 11th minute timer.
For the side of Aura Fire here, Fluffy, he's opting for the Oracle, so he wants that shielding, he wants to be a more solid frontline. But honestly, going up against the Lunox, maybe the Radiant Armor would have been a better pick. He is taking a lot of damage right now, and he is not serving well as the role of the main frontline. So Aura, without a real frontline, they're also struggling to just face check into these bushes because Rebellion has so much control. They have taken all the turrets from Aura Fire, so they can just hide across the map and surprise the members of Aura, especially because they have the Mountain Shocker as well. So Aura is being completely read out, and I think they just have to wait for an opportunity to present itself, maybe at the base, right? Because that is where they can't get caught off guard. That's where the Mountain Shocker does damage only, but does not expose them. But of course, against Rebellion that's playing so disciplinedly, that might be easier said than done.
Now the thing is, usually when we're talking about compositions, we usually see one has a better pickoff comp, one has a better team fight comp, but in this current situation, how is Aura gonna play around it? Because even if they go for pickoff, in a pickoff situation, Rebellion Zion is able to win it as well. In a team fight, it's really difficult too. So what can Aura Fire do at this stage?
Well, they have to catch up first of all, right? Yeah. Once they catch up, then you can talk about the compositions and how they match up against each other. If they have caught up, they still lack a bit of crowd control and that secure engage. I think the best thing for them to do is to do what they do best. Dance around in those fights, right? Go in and out, manage distance. They have 3 sprints, remember. They can easily control the distance, avoid, for the most part, real big full-on fights, and once the resources have been used by Rebellion, that is where they can attempt to just turn it around. Or perhaps they can just go for maneuvers around the map with pressure and go for split pushes, right? I think considering that their Rebellion, like in game number 1, is relying on the Cult Altar as well as the other huge teamfight ultimates, they can go for split pushes and separate the members of Rebellion and then find opportunities that way instead.
Okay, if you're gonna talk about split pushes, who exactly in the Aura Fire composition can split push other than the Esmeralda?
Natan.
Natan.
Natan kind of needs to be accompanied by someone though. Like we have seen, if you guys go on TikTok or anywhere, you should have seen this kind of meta. The Natan using the entropy to clear out the lanes and clear out the turrets without minions. Alright? So that's kind of tough right now because, again, Rebellion Zion are doing such a good job in controlling, micromanaging the waves on the side lanes just so that cannot happen. But it is a possibility still. High can look for that. If all else fails here, they can go, maybe bring the Ruby down with High to get turrets. If he has, I think, 4 items With the entropy, he will be able to clear out the turrets without the minions.
I think when it comes, if Aura is able to catch up somehow, right, by maybe getting pickoffs, getting shutdowns here, I think 2v2s, 3v3s, they still have a chance here, right? So I think the issue is just making sure, it's not about split pushing per se, it's about making sure Rebellion Zion does not play as 5, because they are strongest when they're all together, because they've been copying, taking a lot of pages from the Ubi strat, as Heis here is able to escape with the Brilliance Order. It's just so secure, and Fluffy looks for a bit more, but he's unable to do so, and Aura actually has the control in the Lord area, but they get pushed back by the Mountain Shocker alone.
That's why it's so massive, the value of that Mountain Shocker. Again, getting pressure back, getting the vision onto the Aura Fire members, and even providing poke now. The Fearless is just way more ahead compared to High, but they're actually forcing this here. High is not there. Fearless will be able to take the turtle. The Lord, no, it's not even Fearless. He doesn't even use the Retribution because he knows it is completely secure. High was in the bottom lane, and Rebellion played it perfectly. This just shows, again, the value of that Mountain Shocker. It dealt so much damage.
Damage, utility. I don't know, there's not much to complain about when it comes back down to that ultimate. And it's so insane because Rebellion Zion was able to put pressure on that bottom side, forcing High to clear that out. And Rebellion Zion was able to get the turret almost in that bottom side, as well as that Lord uncontested. 9,000 gold lead for Rebellion Zion here in the 13th minute. This is looking kind of bleak for Aura Fire at this stage.
Unless Rebellion Zion makes a mistake, oof.
The damage.
They need to try and bait out the Cult Altar to try and even attempt something. They can maybe do it using a Blazing Duet or a Real World Manipulation, but right now, even with those, I think they need to use both to even threaten a pickoff on anyone on the side of Rebellion. So it's just very difficult. The Lord has been cleared out, and Rebellion, they haven't been using the waves as neatly as possible. Godiva went for that I'm offended flicker combo, but it has not worked out, and Suelo goes in.
Yeah, with the flicker there, Fluffy gonna get caught, instantly bursted down by Sway low. Rebellion looking for their first match victory in MPL ID Season 10. Chai with the defense here with a Blazing Duet, but on the back lines, look at the brilliance, look at the base. It's gonna be targeted, but it's gonna be cleared out. Minions no longer available. Chai still able to dish out the damage. 1v4, 1v5 here. He's gonna get taken down, and there you have it. Wait, no more minions, they don't even need it. Rebellion, oh, it's still going on for a bit longer, but you know they have it in the bag. The first match victory for the Blue Bulls up against Aura Fire. A massive upset